Hey guys, Rich Lopez with the Drop Time Traditions podcast. My guest this evening is Mr. Tom Mills from Pennsylvania. How you doing, Tom?
Good, good. Rich, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I mean, last time we saw each other is at the PBS banquet,
Yeah, in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Are you going
Yeah.
to the Springfield, Missouri one?
I'm gonna try to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to go to that. And Compton's is having theirs out there too. I'd really like to make it to that one too, but man, time gets
Yeah.
precious, you know. So
With me, it's just flying everywhere. I don't like driving. I hate driving. And so
mm.
I fly everywhere I can and then just rent a car or have somebody pick me up and, I mooch
Yeah,
off them.
I fly a lot of places and I drive a lot of places. I do fly a decent amount at certain times of the year for work.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem doing that, but I also don't have a problem driving. Usually if it's 10 hours or under, I'll drive it.
Yeah, that's not a bad gig. I
Yeah.
don't mind driving. I did the road trip for the one prior to Indianapolis, that PBS banquet, but it was a road trip where I brought my dog, I brought my wife, and we just did 7 states. It was so cool. We
Oh, the
saw that.
Louisville one.
Yeah, we went to
Yeah, I actually
Nashville.
saw you down there at that one briefly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was down
we
there.
yeah we went to Graceland. We went to Nashville. I mean, we had a blast. We took 10 days and just took our time.
Yeah, it's a good time. They're fun to go to. It's fun to get to see everybody, you know.
Well, what's ironic is this is my second wife. We're going on 40 years. So one of our like maybe third date was the West Virginia PBS banquet back in 80s. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was crazy. So she liked that one. She liked going to this and she's meeting other women, other, spouses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's really good. So they
Yeah.
keep in touch and you maintain crazy friendships. And she's not a hunter, but still a hunter's wife has hunter wife's friend.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
My wife's that way. My wife's not a hunter either, but she's been living with me my whole or her whole, for well, we just had our 23rd anniversary and
Congratulations.
she thank you. She supports me and all. But what ends up happening a lot of times, she claims I married her just to watch my dogs. Because what happens is when I want to go somewhere and do something, whether I'm going to, as you know, I go out west fishing and do a lot of different things. She's left to watch the three bird dogs here,
Hmm.
because I got that going on. So, and then vice versa. Sometimes her and my son will have to go away and I'll stay here, which is what I did earlier in the summer. So
Hmm.
it's not a perfect system, but
Nothing's perfect in life.
no, you just gotta get it done. It's just
That's
like
it.
hunting. You just gotta get it done. You gotta do it, and you gotta make the best decisions you can make, and try and that's kind of the attitude I take hunting.
So let me just acknowledge the show supporters before we get into the meat and potatoes here. I want to thank Stickbow Country Custom Arrows, Traps Feather Rests, Traditional Bowhunter Magazine, supported me since day one. Sauk Trail Archery, StickbowSupplies.com, Whiskey City Trad Gear or WCTrad.com, Jessie Savage Blacksmith.com, friend of mine, TraditionalJunk.com, Kevin Bishop over there and his T-Cat show. People, check him out, man. He's a rock star, man. He's a rock star. St. Joe, losing my voice. St. Joe River Bow Company, theethicalpredator.com, stickbowhuntsmx.com, and folks want to recognize Professional Bowhunter Society or PBS and Compton's Traditional Bowhunters. I'm a member of both organizations for a long time, and I support them 110%. And love you guys, but hey, check them out. They're great organizations.
As I am as well. I'm a member of both as well,
Mhm.
and they're both great organizations, and they're a lot of the same people really, but they're great people that you meet
Mhm.
there.
Now I
You'll
noticed.
have friendship. You'll make friendships there that will last a lifetime.
Absolutely. I mean, oh God, the last couple of banquets I've gone to, I'm running into guys I haven't seen in 30, 35 years. And now we talk all the time. It's just a great thing. It's like a family. It's like a second family to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Really. Anything happens in my world, they find out about it and they reach out to me. Hey, how's it going? How's your wife? Stuff like that. It's just really good stuff. So I think you noticed in the manuscript I put, I'm going to change gears throughout, which, yeah, I'm like, what are they? Who's that guy that got kicked off the Tour de France? Who's that guy? Yeah, I'm changing gears on a bicycle, man.
Lance
Durant,
Armstrong.
yeah, that dude. Yeah, you don't hear from
Yeah.
him anymore. He just
Yeah.
disappeared. So, just give us our listeners a brief bio. Born and raised.
Yeah. So, Rich, like I was telling you out at PBS, I come from uh, very close to where you come from when I was a child.
Okay.
Okay. So, when you were talking about, just listening to your podcast, I have a little bit of your background.
Mhm.
Um, you were up there in Belleville at Butts and Bows in New Jersey. That's up in northern New Jersey. That's
Yeah.
like Bergen County area. So where I grew up was a little south of there in the center of the state, and that was just when I was a child, where my mom and dad lived at the time. And there was only like four big like archery slash sporting goods dealers in the state that I
Mhm.
can think of. There was like you had Butts and Bows, and what was the other one you had in Saddlebrook? Targeteers,
Targeteers, and then
and
there
you
was
had Sportsman Center, and then you had
Patterson Rod and Gun.
Ray's in North Plainfield
Yep.
and Effingers in Bound Brook, right?
There was also Luciano's,
Yeah.
which was, and that was in Saddle. That's where I got my hunter safety course. God, I was 14.
So
Uh,
this is back in the day. Now we're talking like back in the 70s.
yeah.
Okay. Well, when I was growing up, the way, I was always an archery fanatic. I learned to shoot a bow when I was 4 and a half. I'm actually on my 50, I think it's my 53rd year of shooting, traditional bow.
Yeah.
Just a bow. Back then it was just a bow. Um, but when I was younger, when I was in high school, the one of the girls that I knew in school in homeroom, her dad was the manager or one of the managers at Ray's,
Okay.
and he gave me a job there, working on bows and selling bows and doing everything. You know what I mean? And so I did that for quite a few years in my childhood, which is ironic because you were only a few counties away
Yeah.
doing the same thing.
Yeah. Because I was born and raised in Bergen County.
Right.
Belleville, man, I started going there when I could drive. So I was about 17. And I had this green 1966 Volkswagen Bug, rotten to hell. It was terrible, had no heat. Of course, they didn't have air conditioning. And I would just tool around. I walked in there one day and walk in there. I didn't know who the hell I was talking to. I didn't know it was Len Cardinal, the famous bow hunter. But I'm like, man, this place is cool. And I'd been into archery for a little bit, but never, you start putting your ear to the ground, you start learning about things. And there he is behind the counter. I said, by the way, hi, sir. I'm looking for a part-time job. He goes, well, fill out the paperwork like he did back then.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, I get a call. It's his mother. It's his mom, May. He calls, said, hey, when can you start? I said, you tell me. And I started, and I'd make arrows. I cleaned the range, vacuumed, swept. I mean, I did
Mhm.
it all. I did it all. And I was also the coffee runner because Len loved sitting, drinking coffee, and shooting the crap with the boys, the
Mhm.
locals. And they would sit at this table and they'd send me out, go get 6 coffees, blah, 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 And I come back and they're all smoking cigars or Tiparillos or whatever and just drinking their
Mhm.
coffee and shooting the shit. And then I became one of those guys after a time. And so, yeah, um, that
But
was it
anyway, yeah.
actually
So what I'm saying is my roots are when I was
similar.
younger.
Yeah.
We're from that same area, which was ironic because I can remember like driving down to Sportsman Center and seeing Fred Asbell do, he did like a talk down there
Mhm.
on his instinctive shooting book. And then I was telling Peter that too when I saw him out in Iowa that he grew up right down there in the Princeton area. And
Yeah.
so he was just a couple years ahead of me, but we were all running around in the same area. We were all running around within
Right.
30 or 40 miles of each
Our,
other.
our worlds never collided.
Yeah, which is crazy. Um, but anyway, yeah, that's so I started doing that. And then so working in the archery shop, you get a lot of exposure and working on bows and doing the bowstrings. And of course, that was when the compound was getting popular. We still did some other stuff, but the compound was getting popular as well. Um, and so that's what I did for many years. And the basis for that, I did go to school, graduated from Penn State, but when I got into the workforce, um, the guy that I used to work for there was offered me a job back, and I actually took it because at the time my mom was going through some times, and I wanted to be there for her. So it would allowed me to be there for her and still have a job.
Right.
And so then I never got out of the industry. I'm still in it.
I
You
see
know,
that in the background.
I still work. Um, I don't work retail anymore, but I'm, years and years have gone by, and I've worked for different stores. I've worked for manufacturers. I work for distributors. Everything from purchasing to, sales and things like that. And what I've done now for the past, well, right around 20 years now is I've been a sales rep in the hunting and fishing industry, and that's how I make my living. So I'm 57 now. I'll be 58 soon. So um, yeah,
Can
that's
you
pretty
can you
much
can
my
you
back.
say the name of the company,
Which
or is
company?
that the one your own? Are you your
Oh,
own
the one we
people?
work. The one I no, I work for a company called Sportco Marketing,
Okay.
and we do. They're based out of Ohio, but I handle some different lines. Like a big line that pays my bills is Hornady Manufacturing, which we
Hmm.
do ammunition, reloading,
Oh yeah.
both on the commercial side and the law enforcement and military side. I teach their evolution of ammunition classes to law enforcement and things, which is basically like um, what what bullets do what through different barriers, and I set the FBI protocol up and do all that. So I do that on one side of things, but then also sales and like optics and things like that. And I handle accounts. I have a territory that I handle and
Hmm.
different customers that I work with, and we work with marketing, promotions, doing different things like that. So I'm fortunate. It's not as glamorous as it seems, but it allows me to do some of the things that I want to do. The
Hmm.
people I work for are really good people, and like we have like ETAR coming because we don't actually get vacation time. So you can take it when you need it, but they don't want you to abuse it either. So
Sure.
if I need to go on a hunt or I'm going fishing somewhere or something, it works really well. So,
Actually, that's all I use is Hornady products for my
oh
guns.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, I love it. Love it. So
yeah,
how you were introduced into archery and bow hunting? You kind of fell into it, basically. Who
yeah.
taught you who taught you bow hunting?
So my dad, when I was very young, my dad had a friend, and back then, American Sportsman was on TV. You
Yeah.
probably remember that.
Hmm.
And so, the Fred Bear was, popular then, and Howard Hill, watching some of those old videos and things like that. And then, of course, later on, you get to see like when Barry did bow hunting October whitetails,
Hmm.
and that kind of thing. That made it, it
Huge impact.
inspires you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It inspires you, So you go and do that kind of stuff, and it's really become it's a huge part of my life. Archery is a huge part of my life, but I'm into hunting and fishing and all this kind of stuff. It's just
Oh
what
yeah. We're
I
gonna
do,
get into
bird
the fishing
dogs.
part. Yep.
Yeah, bird dogs. I have one laying on the floor here, just came in,
That's
but
okay.
so it's just I don't know. I just been into that uh, deep for really my
So
whole life.
so it's
You
like never going to work. You go to work, but you're not really working.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's certain times of the year when I have to work a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really almost too much. It's overwhelming, with all the travel and late nights, and you're getting delayed in
Mhm.
airports, and you're,
Oh yeah.
if you've had days like that, it's enough to
Yeah.
drive you crazy, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. For sure.
Um, but you do deal with some of that stuff, but then, um, but it's been good. You get to meet like through my job is really how I met Barry Wenzel way back when, like 20 years ago,
Hmm.
and we kind of became friends and we stayed in touch. And he was the one who suggested, that I join PBS, and he
Hmm.
actually was my sponsor to PBS.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Actually, I've been fixing the email Barry because he agreed to come onto the podcast. But when I saw him in Indianapolis, he was like right at the very beginning of making his move to back to Montana. So I
yeah,
don't know.
he,
I don't know if
he
he's completed that or
yeah, he is actually. He sent me an email and he's
okay.
there, and him and Susan are there, and I guess they're in their new place and everything. So I
Okay.
can reach out to him here after ETAR. ETAR's next week, so
Yeah. Somebody told me they had a bad car accident. And they're
yeah,
okay, but they had a car
yeah,
accident. Yeah, like couple of months ago.
yeah, they did. And then about a year ago or whatever, they had a rafting situation. That was another
Oh God.
crazy thing. But he's kind of had a tough road here the past couple of years, but he's still doing good. I got to see him and talk to him at length out at PBS, and
Hmm.
he's doing well.
Good.
So
So, what was your first bow? Can you remember?
yeah, my first bow was a little fiberglass. Now I don't remember the brand, but I think it might have been a Pearson or
It's
something
probably
like that.
a Jet. Ben Pearson Jet would have
It
been
was
a
just a
solid. Yeah.
fiberglass recurve, okay? And I shot that. I mean, I have a picture of me shooting at 4.5 in the backyard with my dad. It's
Oh,
on my
awesome.
Instagram. On my Instagram, actually.
Hmm.
If you look back a ways, you can see it. But you can see him standing there shooting. So that was my first bow, which was really more like a kid's bow. It wasn't anything to
Hmm.
hunt with, but I wasn't of age to hunt yet anyway.
Not a
Back
four.
no, no, but I did love shooting, and I still do to this day. And when my once my dad got one of those, we didn't have like 3D targets and stuff back then. So once my dad got one of those big Saunders mats,
Yeah.
you know, and we got the stand for it, and I could take that thing out of the shed and set it up and shoot it. And then I really got shooting a lot. And I have a really good friend of mine who lived by me, and he's still a dear friend of mine to this day. And we used to shoot together a lot as kids. So I shot a lot
Hmm.
of archery when I was a kid, and it's just been a big part of my life. But I enjoy everything. I enjoy shooting rifles. I enjoy shotguns. I was just shooting sporting clays a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoy shooting
Hmm.
flintlock rifles.
Oh yeah.
I've got some nice flintlock rifles. So I'm into a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Archery has always been a huge thing for me, and there's very few days where I don't shoot my bow.
Yeah.
Um, you know, right now it's really hot out, but once the sun gets, going down more and it starts cooling off, I'll go out and
Yeah.
take a couple shots,
Yeah.
you know.
It's been brutal hot here in Florida. I mean, we're in the rainy season now, so every day between 1 and 5, I got a 2 hour deluge.
Oh,
And,
really?
and
Yeah.
then the humidity comes up, so it's like living in Vietnam. So it's like, oh
Hey,
man.
I hunted alligators down there years ago, several times. We were bow hunting for them. It was pretty cool. And I remember those afternoon showers. I mean, it would just come down like
Oh
crazy.
God, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tropical down there.
Yeah, and you think I'd be used to it being a Puerto Rican, but no, I can't stand it. Um, so it's funny is like when we moved into this house, we had two, actually three tall palm trees in the front yard. The hurricanes and the frosts. We've had some frosts here recently, like January, February, where it got below 20, and
Oh, really?
they killed the palm trees. They just
Oh,
dead. So
yeah.
the other day, I mean, I came home one afternoon. I saw this one palm tree. It didn't look too good. I was like, man, this thing looked bad. And it was between my house and my neighbor's house. And all I did was touch it. And it went over, brother.
Oh,
Between our
really?
homes. It didn't hurt nothing, but it went between us. I was like, thank you, Jesus.
You ever hunt out of one of those down there and with a tree stand?
No, no, you don't want to do that because the bark kind of peels off like a banana. So if
Yeah.
you're climbing it and one of those sections the size to give way, you're going down, just like you're on a
Okay.
like you're in a baker tree stand. No
Yeah,
matter,
yeah.
yeah. So no. We have
I've
oaks
hunted
here.
in Florida. I've hunted in Florida several times. Like I said, for alligators, but I also hunted hogs down there, but I was always on the ground. Except for the
That's
alligators, I was in a boat. But
yeah. So hogs here, you want to hunt them in the ground
yeah,
because
that's what we
you got
do.
to go to them, and they're blind as hell anyway, but they got a
Yeah.
great sense of smell and they can hear real well.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
Bill Langer. Do you know that
Yeah,
name?
I don't know him personally, but know of him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
he's been
yeah,
on the
that,
podcast before. Now he's got
yeah.
a place not far from here, about an hour from me, and he's got a place, and he hunts strictly on foot. He's on, he's
Hmm.
mobile. He's a mobile unit for sure.
I think he's is he from Connecticut?
Yeah,
Maybe?
he's from
Yeah,
up
that's what I
north. Yeah,
thought. Yeah.
he's got a place here. We're supposed to get together for dinner sometime, but it'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
Now, have you always hunted with traditional equipment?
Yeah, most of my life. Now I would say I had a lot of exposure to compounds because working in an archery shop
Yeah,
for a lot of years, um, not only did I work on them, but I set them up and also ordered them, for the store, like
sure.
different models and things like that. So I was on top of that for a lot of years. Um, but I did hunt with a compound a little bit when I want to say when I was in college.
Okay.
Okay, there was a few years in there because we got into in like the 80s. Remember the 3D craze when you go to the archery clubs every weekend and there'd be like sometimes we try and hit like two shoots in one weekend and
Hmm.
we travel around. So we did that. So shot a compound some there, but never really put down the traditional bow. I always had one there, hanging and would always take it out and shoot it. But there was a few seasons where I didn't hunt with it, but always shot it. And
Right.
then, but most of my hunting life, I've hunted with the traditional bow.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way, growing up in the same time period where I started off with a traditional bow and then was introduced to the compound because I worked at butts and bows.
Yeah, when you work in an archery shop and you got to fix them and stuff, you got to know what's going on.
Exactly. So I was
Yeah.
a big Jennings guy back then. I had a Jennings Arrow Star, had a shooting star, and the Arrow Star was a bad. And the reason why I bought the Arrow Star is because do you remember the name Bob Fratsky from
Yeah,
Minnesota? Yeah,
absolutely. He's from Wisconsin.
yeah. So
Yeah, I still
that's
got some of his sweaters.
yeah, and he's still around from what I heard. But I mean,
Okay.
I'm trying to get a hold of these guys, but man, like I said, leveraging technology is tough for these older guys.
Yeah, he used
So,
to have the Fratsky woolen mills up there.
yep.
I even have I have a couple of his sweaters somewhere. I'd have to dig them out. I don't even know where they are. And then I even have one that he made in ASAT for ASAT back in the
Yes,
day. He made one.
yes, I remember
Okay,
those.
and
Yep.
he knitted them for him. And that's a I don't I could dig it up. I still have it, but
Right.
that's another Fratsky sweater I have.
Yeah, the Fratsky sweaters I have the vest that has the Sherpa lining, and then I have the pullover crew neck sweater, not crew neck, but it has the three buttons.
Yeah,
And that is worn. I wear that. It's a great undergarment underneath my outer shell.
yeah,
Since I still hunt up north, it gets really damn cold, and it's wool is your friend, man. Let me tell you what.
yeah. I'm a big sweater guy. Um, I wear them a lot because I'm outside a lot, in the outdoors. So I do some guiding for fishing on my part time, like kind of part time uh, when I have time to do it. And when you're just outside in the elements all the time, a sweater's a nice thing to have.
Now, when we were talking over the weekend, because I was giving you a heads up that you're going to get two emails from me. Where were you fishing? The Susquehanna?
Oh yeah, that was on the Susquehanna. Yeah, that's right near where I live here, and that's where I guide on. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
I've always wanted to fish there, so I have to
yeah. Have
look
you
you up.
ever driven over it? It's just a really big, wide, shallow river.
Beautiful body of water.
Yeah, yeah. If you're ever up this way, let me know. It depending on conditions. Like when you're dealing with a river like that, you have water levels that go up and down and stuff. So you're dealing with a constantly changing ecosystem. So sometimes conditions aren't really that great, and
Mhm.
sometimes we don't really have a lot of water to run around. We run jet boats. We have to run jet boats because without the jet drive, you wouldn't be able to go anywhere. A lot of times you're only running in 3 inches of water.
Wow.
So once you get the boat up on plane and you get it up on the surface and you can get it scooting, then you can get lift. The jet boat hull is designed to have a lot of lift. And
Okay.
so it'll ride up on the top couple inches of water.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So let's switch gears here and talk about my life's passion, which are whitetail deer.
Yep.
I live, eat, and breathe whitetail hunting 24/7. So big whitetails. You've killed some nice bucks, man. And are
Yeah.
they Pennsylvania animals
Uh,
or
from around, I've killed some in Pennsylvania. I've killed several in Illinois. I do hunt the Midwest sometimes, Ohio, Missouri.
yeah.
Um, those are probably most of the states that I've killed some of the nicer ones.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, they don't come easy. Um, I have a few nice bucks, but that's from a lifetime of hunting.
Oh yeah.
If you
50
saw
plus years.
how many hunts I had, how many days hunting I had to get the ones I got, you would think I was crazy.
Well, just like me, I've been hunting over 50 years and you know, of the 50 years before I moved to Florida, I probably killed almost 200 bucks, okay?
No kidding. Wow.
But none of them were great. There's basket rack 6 pointers, 8 pointers, little shit bucks. I have one, two, three, four, five. Well, let me show you while we're here.
Oh yeah. Yep. There you go, Rich.
There's
Yeah.
that. These bucks are 50 plus years of hunting.
Yeah. It takes a long time to,
You just don't go out there and shoot them like all the
no,
time. Yeah. So
no. I
these
mean,
these
at least, the way I'm doing it. I mean, yeah, I've shot some decent bucks even, with rifle season and stuff. Uh,
Mhm.
but even those don't come that easy.
No, they don't.
Um, it just requires, a lot of hunting time. And the other thing too is
Yeah.
most of my hunting is done really on public land.
Yeah, well, that was
Um,
one of my questions.
yeah, except for when I go out to the Midwest. But even then, the land that I'm hunting is leased with other people
Right.
and stuff. And so it gets a lot of pressure, quite
Mhm.
honestly. And so it's not easy at all. I go many, many years without shooting a nice buck. Now I'm not
Sure.
like some kind of trophy hunter or anything,
Nope.
but where I live here in Pennsylvania, we only get one buck tag. So I enjoy hunting more than I do, you know, filling my tag early
Sure.
and, not being able to go out. So, and I don't have any problem, filling antlerless tags and stuff too. I enjoy
Oh.
hunting does and things like
you
that as
you can't
well.
eat horns, man. You can't eat
Yeah, any
horns.
any kind of thing. So I usually will be, a little bit, for Pennsylvania, we do have some nice deer here, but
Yeah.
when you're dealing with them up in the big mountains and stuff, they can be difficult to get, within archery range of them. Sometimes I'll see them and then I just can't get them close enough or whatever. But
Right.
it's a lot of that goes on. There's a lot of unsuccessful hunts for sure. But every once in a while, I'll get an opportunity. But you have to work hard at it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And when I mean work hard at it, yeah, I mean I do some scouting and things like that. But you also have to be persistent when you're hunting, because you can hunt a lot of days and not see much. And after a while, uh, you can start to get frustrated with it. But that's why I try and always have a positive attitude, especially now as I've been getting older. Um, I have even told younger guys that have asked me, I'm like, you know what you really got to do with this whole bow hunting thing is you just got to go out and have fun, right? And just enjoy the whole experience. The journey is way better than the destination. Okay. And so um someone who you know someone who there's a saying that goes like that, someone a man who enjoys walking will will go a lot further than someone who enjoys the destination. Okay. And so if you're having fun and enjoying it, um, then I think that
Yeah.
things, you just let things flow more natural.
Right.
You got to be really aware of your surroundings. You've got to be really aware and pay attention to details in the woods, what you're seeing, what's changed, whether that's the weather, whether it's the wind. That those things are constantly changing. And when you spend enough time out there, you start to recognize them. You start to almost feel them, you know.
Mhm.
There's times where I'll get a feeling and be like, I gotta move. I gotta get over here or something like that. So you gotta follow your instincts to some degree.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Since I've moved to Florida, I still hunt up north. I have my permission farm in my old town where I live, we used to live at, and I hunt in upstate New York. So when I'm up there, upstate New York is a completely different animal than where I'm hunting in Maryland, because where I'm hunting in Maryland is 120 deer per square mile. When
Mm,
I'm upstate New York, we're talking 10 deer per square mile.
hmm
So when I see something, that experience of just experiencing that animal where I
hmm
have the potential to possibly take it and I miss, which is a lot of the times, but that's the experience. I mean, like you said, the journey.
Yeah, I enjoy watching deer
Oh
and I
yeah.
learn a lot from watching deer. And honestly, I have so much like video footage and stuff of deer. I mean, even if you look at some of my Instagram, if you ever look at like some of the hunts I put together,
Yeah.
there's a lot of deer that I like watching and being in close encounters. I just really like watching how they socially interact
Sure.
with one another. When I see different deer and watching them from a distance, what's the wind doing? You know,
Right.
is the deer moving with the wind to his back?
Mhm.
Or whatever, and why? Uh, you may see a deer over here. Okay, what's it eating? So I watch. I really enjoy watching deer. Probably why I don't shoot at a lot of them, but that's taught me a lot. That's
Oh, actually, watching the animals' behavior, it's taught me when to rise and stand and draw and all that stuff. Just see
yep.
what they're doing. Look at their ears. Watch what the ears are doing. I mean, one's going this way, the other one's going the other way. Man, that radar is on. So
hmm
you got to be careful with what you do there. Once the animal's tail starts wagging a little bit and starts feeding, it's kind of let its guard down a little bit. That's
hmm
when you make your move. Um, it's just amazing. They're just amazing creatures. Thank you God for putting them on the planet. Really. Um, now you said you do a little scouting. Do you use any modern technology or anything?
You know, I do enjoy scouting. I enjoy spending time in the woods. Um, there's no doubt about that. But I would not say that I'm a a big like I know people that scout a lot more than me.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, that being said, a lot of the hunting I do is on property or in places that I may never have been. Okay. And so if that's the case, I have to approach that a little bit differently than if it's a place where I may have some past history. Okay. But on I like to hunt on fresh. I like to hunt the moment. Okay. So I like to to find see what kind of sign they're leaving, what I think they're doing. Sometimes I'll watch them from a distance. If I don't know what's going on, I may set up an observation stand. I mean, I've sat in observation stands for days just trying to
Figuring them out.
figure out what this area is all about before I just go in and you know blow everything out of there,
Yeah.
not knowing. That being said, sometimes I take that careful approach, and sometimes I do not at all. Sometimes I go right in after them, and I'm pretty aggressive. Okay,
Mhm.
but I do stay fairly mobile,
Mhm.
and I do like hunting really current sign,
Mhm.
sign that is fresh sign. So,
Yeah.
because I really hunt like when I go to an area, I may not necessarily have an idea what's going on there. So let's say it's a spot that I've never hunted,
Right.
or maybe I've hunted a few times. I don't have a lot of past experience. I don't have a lot of past knowledge. So what I'll do is I will really um, I'll sometimes I'll watch it a little bit, but I will go in and try and hunt on sign and then just play it from there. If
Mhm.
you sit an area for a day, you can learn a lot, you know.
Sure.
Um, and you just have to take into consideration, what time of year it is, and that kind of thing. So sometimes you may be trying to hunt more like rut movement, so you're trying to hunt topographic features and stuff. Whereas if you're hunting a food source, like early season food source and stuff, you got to be on that stuff's got to be fresh. You got to be on that right
Yeah.
away. So I will stay pretty mobile sometimes. I'm not afraid of hunting on the ground, um, but I mostly will hunt a tree stand if I can, because I can just stay a little bit. Um, I don't like to let them know I'm there. Okay. I think that's an important thing is to not let them know that I'm there. But when I look at a big, piece of property, or just it doesn't need to be big, just an area that we're gonna hunt. Okay, me
Mhm.
and you are gonna go hunt somewhere, and I'll go into a section and I'll start looking at stuff, and I'll look and I'll know after looking around a little bit, I'll say, well, if there's a big buck here, he's going to be right here, or he's going to travel through there. Okay, so I don't have any history. I may not have a trail camera picture or anything like that.
Mhm.
But I know that if there's a big buck in the area, I should at least get a glimpse of him here. And I should at least get a glimpse of him here. And what the heck is going on here? And sorry about that, Rich. I thought I put that on silent. I should at least get a glimpse of him there, or and which will tell me more
Right.
information,
Mhm.
or and I may need to, may need to zero in, and then I'll do little tricks too, like if I think there's an area where I can shoot one, um, again, you don't want them to know that you're there.
Exactly.
So it's like the buck that I killed this past season, this past year. Um, that deer did not know I was there. And the only reason I shot him almost eye level and about 15 yards. And the only reason he didn't pick up on me was because um, when they're going through terrain that's a little bit uneven, if you put an obstacle in their way, they have to look at it to concentrate on it so they know where to step over it. And I did that to that deer, and I knew where he was coming up this little thing with this, he was coming up this little trail, and I knew that he would have to concentrate on that so I would be able to get drawn
So
when
you
he
basically diverted him.
I just diverted his attention.
Mhm.
Okay. He didn't know that. I just made him look down so so I was able to get the bow drawn, and then he was only 15 yards, and I'm not sure if you saw the video of that, but that did you see him? You can see him topple over right
Mm.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, so that was, that deer never knew I was there. And because of that, that's why if you watch that video, he never knew he was hit. The arrow zipped right through him,
He's like, what the heck happened?
and he didn't know what happened. He just kind of walked over there and he just started feeling funny. But that's there's a lot different than if they know they're getting shot at, or they catch on to you, they know you're around. The best times is to shoot them totally relaxed where they don't know you're there.
Yeah.
So if you can keep your scent away from them, scent keys, the wind is key.
Yeah.
And so, you have to constantly be paying attention to that. And I'll move around accordingly. Um, in fact, that's another example. That particular deer, I needed to move, and I had moved there in the middle of the afternoon because it had this weird wind. But I don't want to get into all the details. But um, that that's how I ended up getting that deer so close at eye level, and not knowing I was there. So
So for me, hunting up in upstate New York, I'm hunting my buddy's nephew's place, And I'm just starting to figure it out. And I kept seeing this buck chasing these does across the field. I'm like, where the hell is he coming from? He's coming from this one corner, and I stayed out of that area because I didn't think it was producing anything.
Hmm.
But then I said, you know something? I'm going to start paying attention to the wind for this particular area. So the wind changed. Then I could get into that area and set up on the ground. And what those suckers were doing is they were coming from a bedding area, coming through the woods on a small, like a sub trail, if you will. The buck would follow suit. He'd be on his trail, which was 10 yards away from the doe's trails. So I'd let the does pass me, and here comes the buck, but another 10 yards out further. So it's about a 20-yard shot. The does passed me. The wind's in my face, so they never saw me or smelled me because I stayed still. And then all of a sudden he stopped. He sensed something. It was almost like he had like a sixth sense, and
Hmm.
just went out onto the field and continued his chase further out. So I'm like, what the hell changed? Something must have spooked that dude. And it wasn't me because I never moved an inch. So I've kind of figured out that area. So I'm going to be there this year, hopefully, and finish the job.
Yeah, well, you got a little bit of info to go on,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's the kind of thing you have to do. That, and that's what I do because, quite honestly, a lot of my hunting ends up being where basically, I'm just going into a spot, trying to find, look and see what, where I think,
Mhm.
deer would move and whatnot, and then based on the conditions and whatnot, play it by ear. And I'm not afraid to spend a lot of time in every spot that I hunt. There's reasons why I'm there, multiple reasons. Okay. And I always, in most cases, unless I'm just doing like an observation stand, but in most cases, I will um, be not, I will be confident being there for a number
Mhm.
of reasons, is what I'm trying to say. And so
Sure.
I'm not afraid to spend time there.
Mhm.
Uh, in fact, I can remember quite a few years ago now, probably 15 years ago now, I was hunting in Illinois one time, and I had found an awesome spot. Okay. As soon as I got in it, and of course, I didn't know it was there. That this was, I showed up, you know, the guy says, you can hunt over here, over there, the fence line's over there, and, that's it. Okay. Just let me loose. Right. And so off I went. As soon as I got into this spot, and it was a little crazy accessing it. But once I got in there, I had so much confidence because they couldn't pick me up there. And I sat there, and so I remember going back to camp that night and telling some friends of mine, I'm like, man, I found a really good spot. I said, I can't wait I said, I hung a stand. Oh, while I was hanging the stand, okay, while I was hanging the stand, because by the time I found the spot, it was later in the day.
Mhm.
And while I was hanging a stand in there, I was not doing a mobile hunt on this particular deal. This was where I was setting a stand. I usually set a couple stands too. And uh, this was a spot where like you want to put a stand because you're gonna spend some time there. And while I was hanging on the side of the tree, I had a big buck walk right underneath me. I could
Well,
hear him come. I'm up there messing around with the straps and hanging on the side. I got my harness on and I'm hanging. I heard this. I'm like, I'm looking and I'm like, oh boy. And I'm like, here he comes. Like went like right under me. Never knew I was there. So that even got me pumped up more.
oh yeah.
I go back to camp. And I tell these guys, I'm like, man, I found a really good spot. This is the kind of spot that you only find a few in your life, you know what I mean? And so I hunted that the first day, daylight to dark, never saw a deer. Hunted it a couple days later when the conditions are right. I had to wait for the wind to be right. Hunted it again, daylight to dark, never saw a deer. Okay.
Your
So
window of opportunity slammed itself shut.
these guys are laughing at me because every night I'm coming back, they think I'm lying to them. I'm like, no, I didn't even see a deer, you know?
Happens.
They're making fun of me. And they're like, oh, this great spot you found. You haven't even seen a deer and you hunted it for 2 days. But let me tell you, I knew that spot had everything it needed to have. And a couple days later, it did offer shots at several nice bucks.
Yeah, they're probably coming through every 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4
So
days.
what I'm saying is when I'm hunting a place, there's reasons why I'm there and I have confidence in what I'm doing.
You got to be
It
patient.
doesn't mean my plan is going to work.
Right.
Okay. Doesn't mean my plan's going to work. Doesn't mean I know what's going on. It means I have confidence in reading the sign that I'm seeing, taking taking the wind consideration, the light consideration, the shadows, edges, all that kind of stuff, sign that the deer have left. You put it all together, and then once you see a spot that you're looking for, you know it, and then you'll be confident and spend time in that spot. But yeah,
Now,
that's how I
what
basically
part
do it.
of?
So to get back to your questions, I do own two trail cameras right now,
Mhm.
but I don't usually put them out unless I
Yeah.
like I the only time I really use them is to inventory. Like
Right.
if I get on a piece of property and I'm like, oh, what kind of deer are there? I'll hang it on one of the major scrapes that I see, like on a field edge, and then you can get a picture of most of the bucks in that area that in like 1 or 2 nights, you know, because that's how they communicate. That licking branch is, how they communicate. And, everybody is going to see different deer sign because that deer sign
Mhm.
in a theory of mine is the deer sign is just a lot of it is a result of your deer population, but also your buck to doe ratio and also
Mhm.
the age class
Yeah.
within
Yes.
the herd that you're hunting. So that all that has a lot to do with the sign that you're going to see. Um, so you just have to kind of take all that stuff into consideration. But yeah, I wish I could get pictures of my deer and name them and all that
Yeah,
kind
I
of stuff.
get you.
But
I
I
gave
just
it up.
don't have that situation. It's basically like this is where I'm hunting. I'm gonna figure out a spot where the nicest buck in the place is gonna be,
Yeah.
and I'm either gonna get a look at them or get a shot at them, and then if I do get a look at them, um, then I can move accordingly. But
Right.
every day you're dealing with different weather and stuff. But that's what makes it all great. You
Yeah.
know,
There was a
it's not supposed
time.
to be easy.
There was a time where the trail cam craze. I'm going to say 15 years ago, maybe longer. Walmart. I'm not buying all that expensive crap. So I went to Walmart, got the camera, set two up in this area that I was hunting, and every buck on that camera was at like 2, 3 in the morning when I'm not there.
Yeah,
They were,
yeah.
were 5.5-year-old bucks. They were monsters.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. But they're doing what they're supposed to do, Rich.
yeah,
They're doing what they're supposed to do, and they're around. Um, but yeah, that's it. I wish I could tell you that I had this. I don't have. I just don't have a piece of ground that I can do that kind of hunting
right.
on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, since I'm flying back and forth up north, 7 times a year, it's tough to really work on something to get something done. I mean, I haven't killed a big animal. Actually, I haven't killed a deer in probably 5 years
Mhm. And
since
then
I'm
the animals that I shoot are really totally dependent on. Like I said, I'm not like some kind of a trophy hunter.
right.
I do enjoy trying to hunt mature whitetail bucks,
Sure.
but that doesn't mean that I don't shoot younger bucks at times, especially like hunting here at home in Pennsylvania, or if I was going to go down and hunt like Maryland down by you,
Mhm.
whatever, where they're a little bit more,
They're
generous with their
they're
tags.
abundant. Yeah, abundant.
I enjoy the hunting more than the killing, so
Well, it's anticlimactic. Killing anything is anticlimactic. I don't. I see these posts on social media. I'm like, my God, shut up. You know.
well, these are you got to realize what you're doing. First of all, we're all going out there and with, we're going to try and take a life, and
Yeah.
that life needs to be respected, and it needs to be done in a professional, ethical, you know,
I 110% agree.
as best as you can do. I mean, we're all going to make mistakes, things are going to happen, but you want to really, treat it as best as you can. No.
I got a kick out of some of the guys that on social media that say, "Oh man, I can't believe I wounded a deer." I said, "Dude, if you're a hunter, if you
Yeah,
haven't wounded and lost a couple of deer in your hunting career, there's something wrong with you."
yeah. That I mean, that kind of thing happens. We all miss.
Let me see your dog.
Sometimes.
Let me see your dog there. Bring him
Oh,
in.
this is Dash. He's only 8 months old, but he's not leaving me alone down here. Hang
That's
on.
okay. That's okay. Dash, what's up, bro? I love it. Love it.
So he's gonna be started on birds this year. I got another one over here who's a 7-year-old, but
How
this
old
is
is Dash?
Dash is only 8 months old.
Oh, it's
We
beautiful.
call we call him the Dash Man.
So my dog is a 14-year-old German short-haired pointer, black lab.
That's what he is. This is a
Yep.
GSP.
And we got her. I wanted to get her into birds and whatnot and all that. First crack of the gun, she's like, nope.
Yeah, some of them sometimes they don't like that.
So she's now my 80-pound lap dog.
But anyway, you I don't mean to change
No,
the
no,
subject,
no, it's cool.
but you asked me about my first bow, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had that glass bow.
Hmm.
But the amazing thing was my dad was a chemical engineer, but he was an incredible woodworker.
Oh, wow.
Okay. He was just good at all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
He could build and design anything. Like when I was going bow hunting alligators down in Florida, this is many years ago, like the first year they had the fall harvest season. So nobody had done it before.
right.
We didn't even know what kind of heads we needed to put on our arrows. We were using bow fishing arrows, but my dad designed on his CAD system the actual head that I mounted on my fiberglass fishing arrow. So it was on a fiberglass fishing arrow, but it also had a broadhead adapter. I still have the CAD drawing. My dad's been gone for years now,
Oh,
but
I'm
this
sorry to
is
hear that.
many years
Yeah,
ago. This is many years ago. So basically, I told him, I said, Dad, and my dad he wasn't a hunter. Okay. He shot archery enough to get me into it when I was a kid, but then
right.
he hunted a little bit when I was very young, but he never got anything. Okay. But this, um, so,
This is what I like, the show and tell part.
so
Oh, wow.
this bow, when I was a kid, my dad built me by hand.
That's
He wasn't
beautiful.
even a bowyer, but this is the bow that I hunted with that I started hunting with when I was a kid.
Did he like buy a Bingham kit or anything like that? Or does he just,
I No, he just made a bow. He just said, "I'm going
wow,
to try and make a bow for you," and he was really trying to make it for himself, but it came out pretty lightweight,
that's
for those.
beautiful. And he had
And
the engineering right because the laminations, that's a strong lamination glue up.
yeah, so he made this thing in our basement, and
Wow.
that's what I started hunting with when I was a kid. So I had it hanging here.
Yeah, I still have my dad's bow, my father-in-law's bow. These things are near and dear to my heart, you know.
And I sent you a picture that one time
Yeah, the
of
herders.
that herder's bow is up there in a case. Um, and I always thought that was such a wild bow that had that big riser on it and stuff.
Man,
It,
herders is responsible for defoliaging the Brazilian rainforest. I'm
oh,
convinced.
really?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? But back in the day, this was before Cabela's and everything,
Yeah.
right? So
The herders catalog was like the
the
Sears
herder's
catalog of archery,
catalog,
of
the
hunting.
herder's catalog, if you didn't go to Ray's or Butts and Bows or whatever,
Right.
the herder's catalog was where you got stuff.
I've got several of them. I'm looking at them right now, and I use them for reference material because I do collect other things besides bows.
Yeah.
Yeah, vintage archery stuff, vintage hunting stuff, Mackinac jackets, all stupid stuff, but it's what I'm into.
When I was a little kid, I can remember I had a paper route. Back when you had newspapers,
Yeah,
the kids would deliver them. We would pedal our bikes around and deliver the
I
paper.
did the same thing. That's how I paid for bows.
Yeah, so I can remember taking like a $5 bill that I got, from like my Christmas tip money from
Oh
my paper
man,
route and filling out, physically writing the order form out, putting the $5 bill in the envelope and
and
mailing it to
mailing it.
her.
Yep.
And weeks later, you would get something back. and you waited for that for weeks. Like
Staring at the
it was a big
mailbox.
deal.
Yeah, where is it?
Yeah, it was a big deal. And it's funny because I still do that. And I was on the guys at Broken Arrow, Chris and Schaefer. They had me
Yeah.
on their podcast, and I was telling them about my fletching jig that I had from my dad that I
Mhm.
still use to this day.
What
Most
brand is
people
it?
are herders. It's oh, I don't have it set up right now, but it is the old. Oh, here, and this I basically fletched all my arrows on this jig for the past 50 years.
Oh yeah. That's a
Remember
vertical
these?
job. Yeah, I remember them.
Remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just twist them around, and then it would you'd put the
Mhm.
arrow shaft in.
Vertical. Yeah.
Here we go. You put the arrow shaft in. Oh, you can't see it because my
No, I get it. I totally get
camera.
it.
And then these would just fit in there, and it actually is a pretty good design, and it actually works good.
So
But
what I'm going to do here, just because we're talking about this, people, listeners, and I have access to thousands of periodicals and catalogs from back in the day. I know
yeah,
exactly that jig he's talking about.
yeah,
I'm going to take a picture of it and post it on my Facebook page. So
yeah.
look for that in the next couple of days.
And many years ago, that was made by, I believe, a company called like Hawkeye Archery or something.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But many years ago, Cabela's bought the rights to it, and
Hmm.
then they sold it for several years. And then whatever happened, they got rid of it. I mean, it
Well,
was
knowing
like,
Cabela's, they probably cheapened it and made it out of plastic.
well, because it is made out of metal and all, I'm sure it got to be too expensive
Sure.
for them to, like that was made back in the day when they made things right. You know what I mean?
Don't
And
t-
now
yeah, you're preaching to the
everybody,
choir, brother.
but now everybody makes things to hit a price point. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right.
And so, but it's really kind of the reason why I was telling that story about that fletching jig was that was my dad's, and now I
Mhm.
still fletch my arrows on it.
Yeah.
Like my son was just making some arrows for Etar, and he was fletching these arrows on it.
Okay. Beautiful.
So it's
You know, it's funny. I sold a bunch of bits and burgers recently here from the 50s and 60s.
yeah, they're
And
good.
my mother, for Christmas, God bless her soul, RIP, bought me a bits and burger fletching jig for my 17th birthday. What mother does that?
Right, right.
Because she knew I worked at Butts and Bows. She called Lenny over there. She goes,
And they're
Lenny,
not cheap.
no, they're not. It was like
No.
$50 back then.
And they're quality,
Yeah. She goes,
Like that
Lenny,
jig right there would probably be over $100, and nobody
yeah.
wants to pay that for a jig. Now, it may not be the best jig that I can be using, but
Hmm.
it works. It's worked for 50 years or more than 50 years. My dad's probably had it for
Yeah.
70. My dad had it. And so it's kind of sentimental, I guess is
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I
yeah.
mean, everything I have around me is sentimental. There's
Hmm.
not a thing, not an inch in this room that is not sentimental. I could sit here looking at a picture of my father holding a bow. I'm looking at a picture of Glen St. Charles. I'm looking at a picture of friends of mine holding bows and game and whatnot. And
Yeah.
you know, I'm talking to you. We got to see each other at the
Yeah,
PBS banquet.
the friends and the relationships that you make
It's
through
timeless.
this is incredible. Like I'm really looking forward next week going to Etar and getting to see so many, friends of mine and stuff up there. So it
Yeah,
should be a good time.
yeah.
You're
I wish
coming
I
next
could.
year, right, Rich? You're coming next year?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I wanted to go this year, but my buddy wants to spend like 10 days there. I'm like, I cannot live in a camper for 10 days with my buddy. I love you to death, but we don't get along that good.
We'll just come up for a few days.
Well, that's my intention. I'm going to fly in, rent a car, drive up, get a hotel, and just hang out with everybody for about 4 days, and then get the hell out of Dodge because
This year? This year?
no, not this year, next year.
Oh, next year. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to retire this year, and they gave me a raise and a $12,000 bonus. So I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I thought you said you were going to retire, but now you're not, huh?
Not when you give me that kind of money.
I would like to get there, Rich. I'm trying to get there myself.
Dude, Yeah, and my wife is very expensive. Um,
Oh,
every day I come home, Amazon's at the front door. I'm like, will you stop, please? She must have 5 pairs of black sneakers. I mean, like, Jesus Christ. You know, I'm one of these. I'm a, what do you call that? I'm a cheap bastard now. I mean, throwing food out, that never happens here. You
yeah.
know,
I'm getting cheap myself too, because I'm like, I really want to try and save money for retirement and stuff, so it's like,
I kind of like it. I kind of like being cheap. It's like, wow, I was always spending all this money on expensive booze, but now,
well, that's my problem. My problem is I'm not, and I just spend it on stuff, you know what I mean? But I'm like, whoa, you need to.
well, the worst thing is liking guns because guns can get expensive.
Oh, geez, don't even get me started.
Yeah, I mean handguns. I got on a Dirty Harry kick a couple of years ago, where I walk into a pawn shop. I'm looking down. It's like there's an Anaconda. It's stainless steel. Oh, and they only want $5.99 for it. That's cheap. Yeah. So here in Florida, you could buy anything, man.
Hmm.
It's crazy. So of course I've got a collection of handguns now, and I never was a handgun guy because I lived in a liberal state of Maryland.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're
Looking to,
all fun.
yeah.
They're all fun. We enjoy shooting them, and I really enjoy the some of the flintlocks because we
Well,
have a
let's
season
talk
here.
about that because I've seen the pictures and I love flintlocks because my hunting partner John and his nephew, who are hunt in New York State, they both build their own flintlocks and
Yeah. Hmm.
they're artisans
Yep.
when it comes to it. It's like, do you have you built any?
No, my flintlock that I use now, which was built for me a few years ago, was built by a friend of mine, Bill Slusser, who's a really good guy. He's from down in Kentucky. He was originally here from Pennsylvania. Just a fantastic guy. If anybody's ever looking uh, for someone to do something like that, and actually they just had it. My buddy just got me this.
Okay.
It's the
Oh wow.
latest edition of Field and Stream because my flintlock is in it because they did an article on him in there.
I'm gonna backpedal. You keep talking. I'm gonna backpedal. I got
This
to
is
show you something.
that's the article that they did. And then so I do that because we have a season here for that here in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Now, what about powder horns? Do you like powder horns?
Yeah, yeah. I got some powder horns over here.
You know who makes a nice powder horn? Sean Blakely.
Yeah, Sean is into actually this hang on one second, Rich.
Hey, Sean. Shout out, brother.
Yeah. This is the flintlock that Bill built for me that was
Oh man,
you can see the
look at that inlay work. That's
yeah.
beautiful.
Hey, it's got my initials right there.
Mm, that is exquisite.
Yeah.
By the way, what camera are you using? Because it zooms in, zooms out. It does just it's got
It does
great
it
clarity.
automatically. It's a
It's got
MacBook Pro.
it's got great clarity.
Can you see it clear?
Oh yeah, bro. Oh, that's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Here's a powder horn I picked up at the Florida traditional bowhunter shoot a couple of years ago.
yeah, that's nice.
There's no engraving or anything or any script show, but it's a very nice piece.
Yeah,
And
really nice.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to capture this thing and just keep it. It's just a beautiful piece of work.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Do you do any shooting down that way with that?
No, not at
No?
all. Anything I shooting wise, gun wise, is up north.
Okay.
I really don't like it here because our hunting season here it starts in August. You know how hot it is here in August?
Let me tell you, I've hunted in Florida. I've
Yeah,
also hunted in South Texas. And those guys that live down there,
I don't know how they do.
they
I don't know how
complain
they do
about
it.
the cold up here. But I can tell you what, that heat is worse than the cold.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, bugs, snakes, everything. It's like I don't want
Yeah.
nothing to do with any of that crap. Yeah, I've been here 5 years, so I'll just keep buying plane tickets. My last trip, man, that was expensive because of the gas prices and all that going nuts.
Yeah.
It was $85. Used to be a round trip ticket, 85 bucks. No big deal. Cost me 250 round trip.
I can't believe what airfare is costing me lately.
Yeah.
I have to go to a meeting down in Texas and I just bought tickets down there and it cost me close to $1,000.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
Oof.
crazy.
Now, are you able to write that off for
Yeah, I mean, I
business?
have an
Business?
expense
Yeah.
account. Yeah, I put
Yeah.
it on an expense account. Yeah, but still, it's ridiculous, you know.
Now, you got ETAR coming up next week. You've been going to ETAR for a while.
Mhm.
So let me ask you this: the old venue versus the new, pros and cons. Give me some.
Yeah, I've been to both of them many, many times. I think I've only missed ETAR, I think two times. I missed, no, three times. I missed the first one. And then I missed one time when I had an uncle pass away and they had the funeral that weekend. So I wasn't able to go.
Right.
Then I missed another time because I was hunting in Africa then because this is their winter. So I was hunting over in Africa and it turned out to be the same time as that. But other than that, yeah, I've been there. So um, yeah, where it's at now, there's probably a little more room, in my opinion, than where it used to be at Denton Hill. One of the nice things about um, the sawmill location is they have a little bit more space, more level space. You know, like remember at Denton Hill, you used
It
to
was
have to,
all over. Oh, the
yeah,
hills. Oh, yeah.
yeah. So they have a little more level space, and they have a big field there where like so even like people that are bringing in big campers and stuff, they have a
Mhm.
place, for them to park as well. Um, the the new place has more showers than
Mm.
the old place.
That's important if you're there for more than a week.
Well, and I am. And the other thing is, which doesn't it, it sounds crazy, but one of the things that's kind of handy was there's a little bit of cell service there. Like not much. Like I
Yeah.
get some calls and can take some calls and I can answer some emails and stuff like that. But the nice thing is when I have my wife at home with the dogs and all this, and,
Mhm.
not having any contact at all, that can be a problem if there's some kind of an emergency.
Right. Right. Right.
So having some service is nice for me because well, for one, I can do some work from there.
Sure. I remember the old days. I used to have to drive into Counter Sport to call my
Yeah.
wife.
Yep. Yep.
And I was like, hey, I got signal for about 2 days.
Yep.
So I'm here picking up coffee, doing whatever. How's everything going? You okay? And that was it. Okay, I'll talk to you in 2 days.
Yep.
And if there's an emergency, she had the number for the ski chalet at Denton Hill. So if
Hmm.
there was an emergency, she can call them on a hard line. And then if anything happened, they would thank God nothing happened. But
Yep.
but that's it. I want to go. I definitely want to go. I need to go because obviously with the format with the podcast and all that poo poo. Um, I'm at a point now where I'm going to start podcasting remotely.
Yeah, I was going to say you could do that easily up there. Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
because
buy. I'm gonna buy. I'm investing in a GoPro and just start doing that. Just hey man, let's sit down for an hour. That's it.
yeah,
I had to.
campfire chat.
Yeah, I
Rich
had to.
Lopez's campfire chat,
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
like
Um,
Roosevelt back in the day.
yeah, and the campfire chat after 6 p.m. is probably something I don't want to advertise. Uh, People that know me will know. If you know, you know. Um, but it's just a good time. I love talking to people. I do. Um,
Yeah.
that's why I'm doing this still. I mean, God, I'm booked all the way out into almost September now.
Oh, you have a lot of people lined up.
I wanted to go every other week because I got bows I got to work on. But
Yeah, I know
now
you
it's
said.
like, dude, it's every week I got something. So my
Yeah.
wife's like, she's happy as hell because I'm home. I'm not getting in trouble. And I cooked dinner before I came in here. So she's already had dinner and I'm going to have it when I
Okay.
come back out there. So I like cooking. That's kind of one of my hobbies besides bow collecting and whatnot. I like to cook
Yeah.
and I'm a
Yeah.
damn good cook according to my wife. And she's a damn good cook, but she just says, "Hey, I'm retired now. It's all you, bro."
Yeah.
So it's all good. So, did you attend the premiere of Gene and Barry's biopic?
Yes, I did.
Dude,
Um,
how does that happen?
okay. I was very, very fortunate. Um, um, Tim Nebel,
Yeah,
one of the
I love Tim.
Tim, a great guy, and Tyler. Uh,
Pennsylvania boy.
yeah, yeah, he was originally, yeah, from over there. And he reached out to me one time and said, he'd like me to go and that they were going to do like a road trip out there.
Yeah.
It turned out to be a fun time. It was just a bunch of bow hunters. We all got together out at Tim's place. Well, of course, Tyler's coming from Montana,
Right.
um, but we all got to
We're talking Tyler Friel,
Carlson.
Carlson. I got Tyler Friel coming on in a couple weeks.
Oh, the guy from Alaska.
Yeah, the grizzly killer.
Yeah, yeah, he's done some stuff with us at Hornady, I believe.
Yeah, dude, he's a killer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what was it like? I couldn't imagine who was
Yeah.
there. Who was there?
Well, so Tim knew that I was pretty good friends with Barry, and he said,
Yeah.
we'd probably enjoy seeing you there. And so I said, "Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would enjoy seeing him." And Susan was going to be there, and
Oh man,
Gene and his kids were there. So it was a really neat experience, but it was fun the way we did it because we all got together at Tim's place. Well, Ed Schlemmy, he drove out with
yeah,
me, Big Ed.
yeah,
He drove out with me to Tim's place, and then we Tim rented a van, and we all piled in this van and road tripped out.
like a
And
bunch of hippies.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And so we had a good time. But yeah, there was the Wenzel's families were all there, which was
Yeah,
really
man.
nice to see them. Um, and um, and then just a lot of Brian Burkhardt came, and
Oh yeah,
Jim Eckount came, and just a whole group of people that were there. Peter
that's
was there.
cool.
Peter came from Montana as
Sweet.
well.
Hey,
Um,
Peter.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was a great time. And then we all road trip back, and it was a lot of hours on the road.
Yeah,
But the way
still,
we
but
did it,
still, it's worth it, man.
the way we did it was fun. It was
Yeah.
just a good group of guys, and
I could imagine the conversations. I mean, just about hunts and stuff and history. And, it's just that kind of camaraderie. It's like, I live for that.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
put together a little video of that whole trip. If you want to look at it, it's on
I am
Instagram.
going to look at it tonight.
It's
Yeah.
funny, and you'll see at the very end. We're leaving, and then we hit a turkey, smashed the whole windshield
Eee.
in on
Oh, my
on
God.
the
And I'm an
rental
insurance
van.
adjuster. So I'm like, oh God. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool. You guys, I'm glad you guys are okay and you had a great time. But I
we
saw that
did.
and I was like, man, because I dig into people before I even get them on the podcast. And it's just one of those things because I was in radio for years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, oh God, I interviewed Lemmy from Motorhead of
Oh,
all
really?
things. Yeah. That
Yeah, I
was
really got to
great.
thank Tim and Tyler for inviting me because that turned out to be a great time. And those
That's
guys,
awesome. Hey guys, thank you again. Thank you for
yeah,
helping me share this message. This is phenomenal.
yeah,
I'm having such a good time with you. Um, I can't, you know, Tim and Tyler freaking off the chain, man. They're great guys.
yeah, yeah. They do a great podcast
Yeah,
too.
they do. They do. It's amazing. I mean, I've done this for 3 years now, and I'm like, wow, 3 years have gone like that. And it's like, wow, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I can't believe how many episodes you've done, but that's good. You're getting people from all across the spectrum, all people that enjoy archery and bow hunting and
Yeah.
bows. And, I'm
I
probably,
look at the demographics a lot, that you get from Facebook and from Spotify and from YouTube, and I don't trust the numbers. So that's why last night I put a post. How is the podcast doing? Because I want to hear real interaction. I want to hear humans telling me, what do I got to do? Do I got to
yeah,
change anything? And so far everything's been 110% positive, which is great. Thank you
yeah,
all, by the way, for even listening. I know looking at my ugly face every week, it's kind of tough for some people, but it is what it is. I mean, it's really a format that needs to be heard. I think the history needs to be heard, the bowyers need to be heard, the old timers need to be heard, yeah, and the hunters need to be heard.
hmm.
Um, so I reach out to people and they're like, "Why are you asking me?" I said, "Well, because I'm admiring you. I'm
That's the
finding
way
things.
I was. I was like, well, you asked me to be honest. So if you think someone wants to listen to me, about what I have to say, but
You have a lot of shit to talk about."
I do. I have a lot of things that I've done, and
And don't mind, don't excuse my French, but shit's okay. The F word and the C word not allowed. I don't have editing software, by the way, people. So mind your P's and Q's.
you're not going to edit me out picking my nose, Rich.
No, that's okay. I'm going to pick mine too. Why not? Yeah, that's for everybody. Uh, you know me. I'm a fun guy. I like to have a good time. Um,
Yeah.
but it's. I want to thank everybody that's even listened or even seen it or whatever. I mean, it's just been amazing. My
Well,
wife
it's great
loved.
because we're a small group of people that have a common interest, and
Right.
we're not the traditional bow hunters are pretty small in the grand scheme of things,
It is. We're the two percenters.
but we do have a great group of people involved in the whole thing, and um, I think it's people that are hunting for the right reasons and people that want to challenge themselves a little bit, people that bow hunting's not supposed to be easy. And, if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, you want to make that, that hunt just a little bit more special, get a little closer, hunt a little harder, that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
That'll
Uh,
make you appreciate it a lot more in the end,
And for the young listeners, and I checked the demographics. I do have some young listeners in their 20s and early 30s that are kind of new to traditional archery. Dudes, you guys got to play the wind, learn the wind, and
Mm.
you will be way more successful than sitting in a tree hoping something comes by.
Yeah,
Um,
you definitely want to know what the wind's doing.
Stay off of YouTube.
Not
Stay
only
off
the
of
wind,
yeah,
but the thermals and have an
yeah.
understanding of them and
Read a book.
what causes them to do what.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then because that'll help you position
exactly.
yourself.
And any of us are accessible. So send a message. We can help you. I'm
Yeah.
not the most successful killer in the world, but as you saw earlier, I've killed a few deer,
Hmm.
and a couple of beers. But you reach out to any of us. I mean, we are here to help you
Yeah.
grow as a bow hunter. But so basic woodmanship skills. Let's talk about that. Are
I'm
they?
big on that, Rich.
That's a huge question.
I, I'm, woodsmanship skills to me are really, really important if
They're
you
paramount. They're paramount.
want to, you know, be successful or be more successful as a bow hunter. I enjoy learning, uh, understanding like the different trees and bushes and
Mm-hmm.
things that they forage on. I had a little bit of a background on that in college and stuff. So learning different oaks and different types of trees
Right.
and what they prefer over other things. Uh, like I said, watching the deer, learning what they do, why they do it, when they do it, that kind of thing. You know, um, I really enjoy watching deer, like when they bed, like, when they come
Oh
in, like to
man.
watch them
Yeah.
bed down. Like I've had some giant bucks bedded within like 30 yards of me.
Just to
And
watch them.
yeah, I sit and watch.
Now let me ask you a question because my thesis from college, when I got my master's, yeah, it was on mammalian biology. So I spent time in the summers sitting in trees watching, observing deer because I did my thesis on mammalian biology, observations, etc. Have you ever seen a deer literally fall asleep?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. A
You know
lot
what
of
else
guys, a
sleeps,
lot
you
of
know what
guys don't
else
see
sleeps a
that.
lot? You know what else sleeps a lot more than you would think? Turkeys.
Isn't that cool? What are they?
Yeah.
Where are they roosting or are they on the
No,
ground?
they're just you'll see them I'll see them like all like sitting on a log or I'm talking during the day. At night they
Yeah,
roost in the trees,
right, right, yeah.
but I'm talking during the middle of the day. Like if they had a long night or whatever, bad storms or whatever, they probably didn't get a great night's sleep holding on to the limb with the wind blowing. A lot of times I've seen them, they just kind of crouch down there on these logs and I've seen a bunch of them doing that. But yeah, I've seen deer fall asleep. I've watched bucks lay their heads down till the
Hmm.
rack
Hmm.
hits the ground and they pick it up again. You'll see it. I've watched them where you can see the rack where it'll start sinking down like this. You can tell they're falling asleep and then a noise will happen and
Yeah,
you'll see the tines,
mm,
pick up and look around and
yeah.
stuff. So it's cool to watch them like that. You can learn a lot. So
I got a funny story. Many years ago, probably 20 years ago, my buddy and I, John, we were bow hunting a permission property, and we decided to still hunt it completely. And we're just walking through it. At the time, I was shooting a 90-pound northern, great northern.
Okay.
It
Hmm.
was a 50, it looked like a 57 Kodiak. So anyway, I was back when I was spry and had, lots of testosterone. So I'm just cruising through and I'm coming and I'm just taking my time and I see this deer, this doe at the base of this tree, literally sleeping. I
Hmm.
said, "Oh shit." So I went, took the opportunity and I walked up to this, maybe 5 yards away, and I center punched this deer and it takes off. We never recovered that deer.
Mm.
Very little blood, probably because I was too far, too close. That's what we're thinking.
Mm.
But yeah, it was weird. It was weird. We looked for 4 hours. We couldn't find it.
Hmm. Yeah.
But it was literally asleep.
Hmm.
But it is what it is. One of those things. One that got away, and the vultures ate it. So what's going on for you for the rest of the year in 27? Any out of state hunts?
Um, yeah, so I'll hunt um deer here in Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Um, I thought of maybe trying to stop in Ohio this fall,
Okay.
but I don't know if I'm going to have time. That's going to depend on a bunch of different things, so that's kind of up in the air. And then I'll go to Illinois. I've got a trip planned to Illinois, and then I did. Those are the only things that I have planned right now. I was tossing around. Got invited on a Sitka blacktail hunt in Lake Kodiak Island
Hmm.
in Alaska, but it's not for this coming year. It's for the following year,
Yeah.
and checking in, and it's the same time that I have a whitetail hunt scheduled, and I'm not going to be able to make it because I
Yeah.
got two things going on at once. And then considering maybe a bear hunt here in the next year or so too. I got an opportunity maybe to do that, but other than that, I don't know. In the next couple of years, I do fly fish out in Montana a lot, so um, I'm thinking of tying, a bow hunt in there, in like a September time frame thing. But I'm
Hmm.
not going to do that this year. That would be just another year. So I'm still, so not too much that I have set in stone
Yeah.
yet.
Right. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, man, I mean, we're at an hour and a half,
Are we
and
really?
yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Well,
Didn't
that's what
know.
happens, man, when we start
Yeah.
BSing. It's all good.
Wow.
We started at 6 and here we are, almost 7:30. I'm hungry. So I'm gonna go have a salad and some chicken and
Well,
watch.
Rick, I can't thank you enough for having me on and
Oh
keep
man, it's been my
doing
pleasure.
a good job
It's
with the
a pleasure and
podcast.
honor. Pleasure and an honor, really.
Hopefully some of the guys, I'll get to see some of the people at ETAR and
Yeah, tell and mutual friends, just give them a hug for me.
yeah, sounds good. Appreciate it.
Tom, I really appreciate your efforts and your time. Folks, mental health is a big issue with me. If you see something, say something. Really embrace your family and just love each other, respect each other. That's all I can say. So, hey man, I'll talk to you again.
All right. God bless
All
everybody.
right. Right
Take
on,
care.
bro.
Yep.
Bye. Peace out.